Hello and welcome to the Stronghold podcast from Stronghold MMA in Singapore. You can catch this podcast on YouTube. You can also download the audio version on Spotify, Apple, Pocket Casts, and on Podbean. So on the podcast today we have Tiffany Teo, fresh off of her one championship fight not 2 weeks ago. Tiffany, how are you feeling?
Good. Like pretty much recovered and back in training. Yeah.
It was a close fight, dude. We actually recorded the podcast.
Yeah, I saw the you were doing like a live analysis.
Yeah,
of the
it was
fight.
us, the three of us, and me and my wife Charmaine, and then we had a bunch of students in the back that were watching it on their phones.
Yeah.
And we all thought you won, dude. We all thought you won, especially because you came on late, right? That was
the last round.
Because the first round was like, good luck. I mean, I know that one doesn't score the fights round by round, but I thought you came on at the right time. The fifth round was the most dominant round, so I thought that really got the fight in the bag. And you've had a couple weeks to sort of process it. Well, I mean, how do you feel about it? How do you feel like the result?
Yeah, I went back to like rewatch the fight. Yeah, I felt like the fight could really go either way. It was a really close fight, Yeah, and I felt like I could have done more damage like in the last round and to make it more, decisive, a more decisive win. Yeah.
You know what I didn't realize? We just looked up the rule criteria. Jake, do you mind pulling that up for us? It'll be here on the TV. Because one championship's rules are different than the UFC's.
Yeah. It's very different.
And so because I've had to figure this out, right? I know that one scores the fight in its entirety. They don't score the fight round by round.
Yeah.
But then I'm trying to think about that. I'm like, okay, but how do you score a fight in its entirety? Like, what do you mark? How do you break apart significant portions of the fight and then decide who won more when you're not because if you do a 5-round fight, you're breaking it down into fifths, right? Each round is a fifth.
Yeah.
So you're trying to say okay, with this fifth, it's separate, so I can kind of see who was dominant in these 5 minutes, and then we keep going down the line. But if you're okay, it was a 25-minute fight, right?
Yeah.
So 25-minute fight, but then you're okay, if you score it in its entirety, how do you segment who was dominant in which phases, and then judge based on that who was more dominant throughout the fight? It's really weird. And my original point was that if you look at the scoring criteria here, the takedowns in one are way at the bottom of the scoring criteria.
Yeah.
The second to last criteria.
Second to last.
Yeah.
I think it's like the damage. They score pretty high on damage.
So I didn't realize this. In the UFC and in the unified rules, takedowns are much, much higher priority.
Yeah.
Right? And so you got a few of those takedowns, and I thought the timing on them was perfect. I mean, I thought your takedowns were enough because the stand-up was so even. I mean, I thought she was getting a little bit more of the punches. You were getting way more of the kicks, but you were also controlling, I thought, especially in the second half of the fight. You were walking her down. You got the takedowns, which if the fight is even on the feet, I just thought that was enough to nudge it, especially when you were getting more dominant in the grappling later on in the fight. So, but I didn't realize, can you read the scoring criteria here for everybody, Jake, and just pull it up on the main?
Yep, can do. So if you look at decision wins, in the event that a bout goes the distance, it will be the judge's decision. The 3 judges will score the bout in its entirety, not round by round. Judges will utilise the one judging criteria in descending order of importance to determine the winner of the bout. And then if you look at that descending order, at the top you've got damage, internal, accumulated, or superficial, striking.
No, go up, Jake. You missed the first one.
Oh, sorry, near KO. I missed the important one.
So that's important, right? Near KO or submission. So for your fight, that's basically null, right? Neither one of you guys finished each other. You guys were a technical back and forth.
Yeah.
And then so damage is the next judging criteria. That's the one that Jake and I were having problems figuring out, because I think you wore the damage a little bit more, especially on your face, but you were doing mostly body work, a lot of body kicks. You head kicked her 4 times.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's what your head kick was on point, dude. Man, 1 inch, that one that slapped her right in the face. I know you're thinking one more inch, goddamn.
Yeah. It's just a bit more on the shin.
But that, in my opinion, that was the most dangerous strike of the whole fight. That was the one, because you kicked her still. You kind of did the toe slap, but you still head kicked her. That's the cleanest. The hardest strike, the most dangerous strike of the whole fight, but you were doing a lot of body kicks, a lot of low kicks, a lot of takedowns. That damages you a little bit different, where she was mostly kind of jabbing you. And
more on the hands, right? Strikes, yeah.
I felt like she threw a lot of combinations, but not many of them landed.
Yeah, your defense, your striking defense, that was the big thing I took away from the fight, to be honest. because I mean, you got finished in the first fight,
Yeah.
and she barely landed anything significant on you. She pitter-patted you, and she threw some.
Yeah, I think she was
combinations.
getting like annoyed, you know. She was like frustrated that she couldn't close the distance.
Yeah, because every time she came in, you were kicking her.
Yeah.
It was brilliant gameplay.
Yeah.
Because you know she's all hands, right? She's all, and she drops that head low.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're throwing that front kick to the head because
Yeah.
she keeps her
Yeah.
posture forward, heavy on the front leg. Yeah, really, really good stuff. Okay, what do we got? Let's keep going through this scoring criteria so we can try to be as objective as we get on this podcast, which is not very.
So then striking combinations and cage generalship, ground control, superior positioning, earn takedowns or takedown defense.
That doesn't even make sense, first of all. Can I say, how does takedowns or takedown defense? Takedown defense is not offense. It's not doing anything except responding to some aggression that someone else is putting on you. So that's weird. But yeah, so takedowns are the second lowest scoring criteria. So that is interesting. And then followed by aggression at the end.
Yeah, aggression is the last one.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Did you think you won, Tiffany? Did you think you won the fight?
Yeah, I thought it was really close. Yeah, I could have gone either way. Yeah, and yeah, I just feel like the damage that I took, the cut, like did like play a pretty big part in like the judges' scorecard. I just don't have a very durable face. That's what I feel.
You're tough as shit, dude. Like,
Yeah, but I feel like I
sometimes
just
when you
get
fight-
cut easy, and I bruise up easy. I feel.
So oh shit! I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? You said you had 5 stitches, right?
Yeah.
In your eye from that cut, and you said that was from a hammer fist.
Yeah, I think it was because it's like the sides of the glove.
Was it from the bottom?
Yeah, because she throws this really weird overhand. It's not an overhand, she changes it last minute to like the side, so it's like a hammer fist.
It's like an overhand hammer fist, like that.
Yeah. It's
almost
so
lands
weird.
on the side.
Yeah.
Like a knife in the jugular.
Yeah,
or
so
something.
and that's like the rough part of the gloves, when you clench it, and that's
Yeah.
like the part that's coming out. So I guess that was the part that cut my eye. Yeah.
Was that? What was the most significant shot? Did she hit you with anything really significant that you felt like? Does anything stand out or?
Just like a lot of overhands, but I
she
felt
was
like
winging those overhands.
Yeah. She was just like spamming the overhands, I think like later in the rounds, because I think she got frustrated,
For sure, because every time she stepped in, you were kicking her.
and then I think she knew that I had the cut, and she wanted to make it like do more damage to it. Yeah,
that's why for me it's hard to. The fight was close, so it's like honestly, if you'd won, she'd won. It's you can't be mad. The fight was fucking good. It was close. That, you really can't be mad at that, right? You had the dream. You had a fucking legendary close fight with a world champion, on a big stage, right, in your home country. But the thing that sucks is you won the MMA fight. Right, let's say that they gave her the decision, which is cool. They would have done it based on just volume,
aggression, but but then the aggression is like low on the list.
But the
right?
volume, I think, but the efficiency wasn't there because and there wasn't consistent enough damage. I thought that I'd rather have been you than her. I don't want to eat those kicks, dude. Every time, it's so annoying when you try to step into the range and then someone is always blasting you with a kick. That sucks. That's really annoying. That's just why she started winging those overhands and chasing you, and then you were able to get takedowns and pin her against the cage late in the fight.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those things, right? When you see that the most one-sided round in the whole fight was the last round, and the fight is so close that you're like, that's got to be enough to put you over the top, right? That's where I'm at. So
I think I said when we were watching it live that you called the first 4 rounds pretty much even, but then you absolutely dominate the final round. So we were like, surely that's got to be your win.
And it just felt like the tide was shifting at the right time. First round was like toss up, right?
It's pretty even, just striking.
Jeez, it was so close. Second round, I think she ended up getting on top of you you got a takedown, and then she ended up getting on top of you in the second round, right?
So
let's say again, this is not round by round, but just for the sake of breaking the fight down into segments. And then in the third round, again, real close, but then in the fourth and fifth, you started pushing the pace. Then you started getting the takedowns. The kick, you head kicked her. Several times. You face deeped her, right?
Yeah.
And you deep her in the face.
Which is always so low, so I was like, right, you can get out of here.
Man.
Push kick her.
Jake, can you go to Instagram and find the bitch slap to the face? I want to see.
I think one championship posted it.
If you go to their Instagram, you can find Tiffany's foot to the face.
It's a little bit more.
In fact, I think the 5th round, just right towards the end, I felt like it kind of looked like she got rocked a little bit. I think it was like a up kick and a cross. But yeah, I guess they didn't see that.
Well, you were definitely pushing you were walking
The
her
last
down. She was
round,
backing
yeah.
up the whole time. You still
Yeah.
got the takedowns.
Yeah.
Like, you were definitely so Kai Xiong, you were with her throughout the training camp. I mean, was that basically the game plan? Kick her when she stepped in, get her against the cage when she's close, wrestle her down, make her fight a whole sort of MMA fight?
Yeah, pretty much. The idea
Striking
was
defense, boxing defense, a lot of that, I assume.
yes, correct. Yeah, we just the main idea was just kind of mixing it up and not trying to force anything. So if the striking is there, take the striking. If not, we try to blend in the takedowns. And of course, try to hit and not get hit because she's really explosive with those combinations coming forward.
Yeah.
So that was something we're trying to look out for throughout.
Yeah, she's got snap to her punches, man. She's got snap to her punches.
Yeah.
They come hard, they come fast, and they come with like a lot of volume.
Yeah, very, very high.
But
volume.
man, I thought the fight was great. It was, of course, we're all cheering for you, and we're biased as fuck, right? I mean, that's just, it goes with the territory. But I mean, just to have that, like to fight. I mean, you're right. It's like 1A and 1B, dude. Like the fight was so close that you're like, but it shows the growth that you've made, particularly in my opinion, in the striking defense. I mean, you were moving your head really, really well. Nice discipline with your hand, especially on your
the
left
right
side,
side,
which is her overhand, right?
Yeah.
And
The long frames, keeping her far,
and the kicking was the totally move. That's the way to beat her, I
Mm-hmm.
think. So I mean, you got some good fights, I think, coming up in your future. Did
Nah,
one say
no.
anything? Did you hear anything from Chatri or from anybody
no
about the
news
performance
yet.
or anything?
No.
Didn't speak to
haven't-
anybody after the fight?
No, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. So the thing is, the division is a kind of a weird division, right? It's like I pretty much fought all the girls in the division. Like I fought Michelle, I fought Ayaka, I fought the champ, and it's like not much girls left for me to fight. It will be all like rematches, I guess.
Just Angela, but she's
yeah,
out for
but
a
she's
while,
like on
so-
maternity leave.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so what are they going to do? I
Yeah.
mean, maybe they bring someone else in or have
Yeah, they
someone...
have to, right? Yeah, so just kind of see how it's gonna play out.
I mean, you're still the
Yeah.
number one contender no matter what. So the next fight that you're going to have is going to be a bigger one. And I just got to say, your fucking conditioning is ridiculous. Your conditioning is ridiculous. You look so fucking jacked, first of all. Second of all, she's doing this, for those of us who don't know, Tiffany, follow her Instagram and shit. She's doing this David Goggins challenge. She just did it. I saw that. You did that a week after you fought.
Yeah.
That is
Actually,
ridiculous.
I think like 4 days after.
So she's
yeah.
fucked up, stitches in her face, and she's
Yeah.
like, okay, cool, I'm going to take on a David Goggins challenge. And you ran 4 miles, right?
Yeah, 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours.
Oh my
yeah.
God. So four miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So your sleep's
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah,
You're
it's
running
so
4 miles,
fucked.
which
Yeah.
is like what? 8 km or something like that?
6.5 km.
Okay, so 6.5
Yeah.
km
Yeah.
every 4 hours. So you're sleep
Yeah.
deprived, you're running that shit, you're
Yeah.
bruised, you're sore, your face is bleeding, and you're just like, fuck it, let's go. Let's go.
Let's do this. Stay hard.
So what was that? Yeah, stay hard. So what was that experience like?
Yeah, I
You
regretted
did it a couple of days after a fight. That's fucking
Yeah.
4
crazy.
days, right?
Yeah, so it was kind of like on
Did you do it with her?
impulse.
No.
I wouldn't have it.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it was like an impulsive moment because I always wanted to try it. So during circuit breaker, I got my friend to do it. I like kind of challenged him. Jin Hao, he's like a national boxer, ex-national boxer. So he did it. So I was like, all right, maybe I should try this too. So it's always been like on the back of my head, but I kind of like keep putting it off. So after the fight, I had nothing to do, right? Like I felt pretty much like
I mean, heal.
yeah, but
mentally,
I
physically,
I
and
slept for like 3
psychologically, and
days.
Stuff regular.
emotionally, right? It's like,
Yeah,
nah, fuck it. Let's run 1,000,000 miles.
yeah, I slept for 3 days and I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty well rested. I think I can do this.
You must have been sore. I mean,
Yeah.
you kicked the shit out of her. Weren't your legs sore, your shins and your ankles and stuff?
My calves were sore for like the first 2 days, but I kept icing it. And
Your
I felt-
calves?
Yeah.
You didn't get the ankles or the shins? Like, you
The
didn't kick
ankles
any
a bit,
elbows or knees
No,
or anything?
I didn't really land on any elbows.
Oh, you're just kicking the
yeah.
good parts.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah. Yeah, so after 3 days, I'm like, yeah, let's do something. So, and I knew that if I put it off again, I'm not going to do it. So it was like, yeah, I have to do this. I have to do this now. If not, I'm not going to do it. So I was like, fuck it, let's do this.
Yeah, when you walked in, I brought it up, and then you were like, "Yeah, I wish I hadn't done that." And I was like, "No shit, I could have told you that from the beginning." It's like, here's something that would be cool after the fact, but during or like immediately
Yeah.
after, there's no
Yeah.
way. So the sleep deprivation was the
Yeah,
big
it's
one,
the
right?
sleep that's like.
So
that
how did you
fucks
do it?
up.
Like, what was your strategy?
So the thing is, the faster you run, the more rest you get. Yeah, because it's like 4 hours,
Oh, that's a weird
inclusive
way
of
to
your.
That's a weird way to look at it.
So it includes your rest time, like the time you get to eat and everything, right? So I aim to keep it like under 1 hour for each run. Yeah, so I.
So wait, how long did it take? What did you average for the 6.5 km each time?
about
roughly?
40 to 45 minutes. Yeah.
So that's what makes it crazy because you think like, okay, it's every 4 hours. Yeah, but an hour of that is running.
Yeah.
So you're really only getting like 3 hours.
3 hours,
max.
yeah. And you have to shower, you have to like eat everything. So I think I only slept for like 1.5 hour max for each set.
Jesus,
yeah, so it's like just
2 days.
power naps. Yeah. Yeah.
And I bet every single time you got up from that nap, you were like, "Fuck! I don't want to go again."
No, the first 5 sets felt okay. Yeah, because I was like pretty well rested.
What point did you start dreading it? Where you're like,
The 6th set, the halfway mark. It's like I want to run, and I started to run. I'm like, nah, it's not happening for this set. I have to walk this set. So my set number 6, I walked for like 1.5 hours.
Oh, you had to walk.
Yeah, I had to
just
walk. There's
recover?
no way that I was gonna run. It's like everywhere was in pain. I didn't stretch. After the first 5 sets, I just kept running. I'm like, yeah, I got this. So no stretching, no foam rolling.
So you're getting tight,
Yeah.
muscles are getting sore and stuff.
Yeah, so after the 6th set, I went home, I started stretching and like just foam roll the shit out of everything. Yeah, so after that it felt better. And
Did you get a second wind? How did you do by the end of it?
Towards the end, when I was like the last 4 sets, because it's like nearing the end, right? So I'm like just psyching myself up, like, yeah, you got this, nearing the end. Like, David Goggins ain't shit, you're gonna outdo him.
Pussy, let's go. You ain't shit.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
talking to yourself like that.
Yeah.
I think what's funny was I think she had a bit of a delayed response to the fatigue, because like the first 3 or 4 sets she was telling me about it, she's like, yeah, this is pretty chill.
Yeah.
I
at the
think I can do
start.
15 sets. Then by the 6th set, like, nope, fuck this, fuck this.
Yeah, you reach a point where you get the difficulty spike, right? And you're just like, oh, damn. Because that's
Yeah,
a grueling, that's the thing, right? Like, you can do a few of those. But how many did you have to do in total to complete it?
12 sets.
12
yeah,
sets.
But I did 13 in the end because my friend challenged me
Oh,
to do one more set. So I'm like, all right, challenge accepted. Maybe
That's the
13
move, though.
sets.
One more, right? One more, that's the move.
Yeah.
That's a badass move. So how did you feel after it?
I regret it, man.
Were you sore for a few days?
Yeah, I was sore for like 2. The soreness is still like pretty manageable. It's the sleep.
Oh.
Like, I feel like I'm still recovering from the sleep now. It's like,
From the sleep deprivation?
yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
every day I wake up in the morning, it's like I drink my first coffee. Usually that's okay, but I'm still tired. I need one more cup, like within 2 hours.
Wow,
I'll be
yeah.
drinking like 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
you. So how much sleep do you think you got in the 2 days that you were doing it? Because
Probably like 1.5 hours times.
presumably you would have needed 2 full cycles at least within
Yeah,
that time, which would
probably
be 16
like-
hours, and then you're also exercising a lot.
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
you need more to recover.
Yeah, I think like maximum 12 hours total.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're
Yeah.
yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's
Plus, you're not hitting REM sleep, right? Because I think to hit your deeper sleep cycles, it only happens like in 2 hours, 3 hours into your sleep, right?
Yeah. So, it's
you're
really
missing
just
all those-
power naps. Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
and then running
I have
again.
to set like 6, 7 alarms to make sure that I don't oversleep.
6
Yeah.
to 7 alarms.
Yeah.
That is wild, man. And you just were like, yeah, but are you going to be doing that again?
No.
Yeah. Jake, did you find that video of Tiffany kicking her in the face?
got it.
Can you appease the MMA war gods and play it for us, please? Here we go.
Boom.
Oh, dude, one more inch. One
Yeah.
more inch, and that's going to hit
On
the
the
nerve
shin.
under the
Yeah.
ear, and then
Damn.
boom. I mean, that was the scariest strike of the whole fight, because that one was a fight ender if it landed, and it was just centimeters off.
Yeah,
Centimeters
yeah.
off. And then you face teeped her. Sorry, Jake, can we, if you can, didn't you push kicked her? Was it front kick or like a push kick?
Yeah, I
or-
think it's like an up kick kind of.
yeah, because she had her head hanging
Yeah,
low
because she's
in
always
front, and then
low.
you went
Yeah.
boom up with it. That's a
Yeah.
brilliant kick.
Yeah.
Perfect kick for her stance.
Yeah.
Because she's so heavy on that front leg with her chin tucked down,
Yeah.
boxer style.
Yeah, she
like,
stays really
blocking
low.
punches with her forehead
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't think they've got that one on.
I don't
the
think it's
page.
on one championship. You have to go to like the fights. Yeah.
That's
But
okay.
I don't even know what round.
If
is
we do
it.
that,
Yeah.
we might get pulled.
Yeah.
Sometimes they pull us off for that. Well, anyway, that's cool, man. So your body's basically healed up now. What's the
Yeah.
move? I mean, I know you're still training. You did that fucking Goggins thing like 4 days after. So
Yeah.
I assume you're already doing stuff.
Yeah, I started training, just light training, some drills, striking drills, and like grappling, like movement stuff. Yeah.
So what do you think the move is? I mean, the fight was close enough that you probably that you could justify a rematch in that context, but the other side of
Yeah.
it is that you fought her twice already.
Yeah, so it's kind of a tricky situation, right? Yeah, I have a few options, I guess. I could stay and see what they offer me, or I could go up to like fly. Because I thought about going down to Atom, but I think it's not possible. So a few days ago, I went to do this Dexa Scan. Have you heard of it? So
what's
it's like so it gives you like a breakdown of your body composition, like how many kg of muscle mass you have, how many kg of fats you have, and it's like really detailed because you have to go into this machine and they just scan your body.
Is that so that way they can tell like how much weight you can cut, how much water you have, how much fat you have, and then you can get an idea of where you can make safely?
Yeah.
Is that the
so after the test, they told me that including my bone mass, I'm like 51 kg of lean muscle mass. So I'm like, there's no way I'm making atom. Yeah, right. So like, I mean, I could, but I have to lose some muscle mass, and I'm not too sure how that will play out. You know, I'll
what
be
are you
weaker.
at now? Like out of. I mean, I guess you.
Now I'm like 60-ish.
But that's probably still lean for you because you just fought and then you did that Goggins thing, which I'm sure kept you pretty trim.
Yeah.
When did you finish it? A couple days ago?
I think like 2-3 days ago.
2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean. You can cut. How much do you don't really cut to make the you a little bit, a few
a
kilos,
little bit, like
a couple
yes,
kilos
like two or three max. Yeah.
And then the next weight class is how many up?
It's flyweight, so it's up to 61. 61. So that's I don't even have to cut for that, you know.
Yeah, you just walk around basically.
Yeah.
You could even gain a little weight for that.
Yeah, but going down the atom, that's gonna be really rough, and I'm not sure how I'll feel at that weight. You know, I'd rather like bulk up and feel strong than like
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can you, Jake? Can you pull up the women's one championship rankings? Let's take a look at the other weight classes and see.
Yeah, the flyweight is kind of a weird division also. There's all like new up and coming fighters. Yeah, it's like Kobe Northcutt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd smash her, dude.
Yeah.
You'd smash her. Yeah, it's easy. Take that fight, dude. Take that fight.
It's payday.
But they would never. Evolve's never gonna burn one of their own like that. She's gonna get a few more cans, I suspect, first.
Yeah, even the Atom is kind of like stalling out now with Angela, you know.
Yeah, so what are they going to do? Are they going to create an interim title or something?
Yeah, so they're going to have the Grand Prix and...
Are they going to... You could go up and do that? Maybe they already said it?
I'm not too sure. They haven't really announced. Yeah, but making Atom is like a big question for me.
But I'm... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to go up. You prefer to go up if you
Yeah, I
choose.
prefer to go up. Yeah.
Who's the girl?
I
Are
love
the girls
my
there big?
food.
Are they about your size?
Sorry?
Are the girls there bigger or are they about
I think
your
they're
size?
like about my size, but they're probably taller, I think. Yeah.
So you probably want to put on like a kilo or two of muscle maybe.
Yeah.
Probably need 6 months for that? To put on
Yeah, I think
a
so.
kilo or two
Yeah.
of solid muscle?
Yeah.
So
I don't
which
think
weight
the
did you
girls cut
want?
much weight either way.
Sorry, say again?
Which weight did you want?
Let's just bring up the... what's
Flyweight.
above?
Fly. So it's
You know, I'm an
Atom.
expert. I'm an expert in these things, so...
It's like Atom, Straw, then Fly.
It's not like I have a podcast.
Yeah, but I don't think they have
where we
like
talk
a
about
contender list because there's no champ at flyweight.
this. So let's
yeah.
let's see Tiffany's weight class, and then let's see Adam then, if that's all we have. Okay, so Adam... Who do we got? Oh, man,
Dennis
still in there.
Mongpo.
Ooh, Stamp, yeah, you'd smash her, dude.
Yeah.
Take that fight. That'd be sick for you, man. Stamp Fairtex, that'd be a great fight for both of you guys.
Yeah, right.
She wants to fight MMA.
She can come up to my
I
weight.
mean, she's in the top 5 already. That doesn't even make sense. She hasn't fought anyone. Yamaguchi would crush her. Okay, and what about Tiffany's weight? There we go. Okay. So Michelle, you already beat her. Angela's there. She's out.
Yeah, it's only
Ayaka,
left
you
with
beat
like
already.
Myra.
And
yeah.
then who's the one below? Go to the
Myra.
bottom. Myra.
So
Okay.
she's this Brazilian chick from, I think she trains at Evolve too, yeah.
You fight her yet?
No, I was supposed to fight her before I fought Ayaka, but I had to pull out last minute because I had like eye injury, yeah.
Eye injury?
So I only knew it when I went for like the medicals. So I had like a torn retina.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
It wasn't impairing your vision at all or anything?
No, it wasn't.
Just
Yeah,
pain?
it's a weird, there was like no signs or anything. That's why I didn't know.
How'd they catch it?
Yeah. So you have to do this like this eye test, and they would like dilate your eyes and just check your retina, your cornea to make sure everything is intact. It's like a pre-fight mandatory.
Oh, they
test.
make you do it anyway. That's smart.
Yeah.
Test your
Yeah.
vision. Make sure you're not going in there
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah, so that's only how I got to know that my eye was injured and I had to pull out. Yeah, it's like I went through the whole training camp and like 2 weeks out, okay, I can't fight. Like
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Now that you mentioned that. I wonder how Michael Bisping was able to fight. How did he didn't take any fucking eye
I heard he
tests.
faked a lot of eye tests actually.
They
yeah.
do? Or,
Yeah. Like
how did he
fa-
pass any of them? He literally, his eyeball can pop out of his head.
Yeah,
like-
so creepy.
Nasty.
yeah, did you see that
that's
video?
Is it real? Like,
Yeah, Jake.
Wow.
Please, can you
like you just
do it.
pull it up.
It's like some Halloween
can you
trick.
please pull up the video of Michael Bisping popping his eyeball out of the podcast, please? Because we all need that in our life right now.
I heard he fought like at least like last 5 fights with one eye.
What happened in the
He
Vitor
was like
fight,
half
right?
blind.
Oh yeah.
I think it happened in the Vitor fight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So he has no peripheral vision on one eye.
Yeah.
no, he has a fake fucking eye. Totally.
Wow.
So he had, I think it was detached his retina or something. And then they went and fixed it. Did surgery. He had some other issue. Lost his vision completely.
Dang.
And then they literally just had to give him a
fake
prosthetic.
eye.
Yeah.
Dang.
And there's a video of him, a GIF of him popping it out on a podcast. And I mean, he pops it out. It's.
Oh, like this one.
I don't know if I've got the video, but oh wait.
You can probably just type the GIF into Google and it will.
There's the image.
Can you?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Dang.
that
Pulls it out.
is hardcore.
It's nasty.
So he fought all of it. He won the title, beat Anderson, all those guys he fought with a fake eye.
Yeah.
And
Dang.
somehow passed a visual test. I don't know about that.
How do you do that? Like, he must have bragged like
Why would
his
you-
eye doctor.
That is so hardcore. That is so hardcore to get kicked. Remember old school Pride fight? You remember when Yuki Nakai fought Gerard Gordeau in Pride and he eye gouged him? So Yuki Nakai is the guy who gave Shinya Aoki his black belt. And
Okay.
a bunch of those guys. He's a famous, like, old school pioneer. He fought Hickson Gracie in the finals of the old Pride tournament. And in the semifinals, he fought this kickboxer, a French dude called Gerard Gordeau. And in the fight, he's literally reaches back and he's raking, gouging his eyes. He blinded him like for the rest of his life in the fight.
fuck.
In the fight.
Dang.
And still permanently blind from getting gouged in Pride. Jeez.
Fuck
What a
that.
dick, man.
Yeah, right.
You guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
How are you blinding people in a fight? Like, you're permanently maiming them? Those old Pride fights, man, they got wild.
Did the ref stop it or?
No, he ended up catching him on a heel hook and submitting him.
Oh,
He
shit.
won. And then he fought Hickson in the finals with a fucking eye patch and blinded one eye. And then
Dang.
Hickson choked him and won the whole thing. But yeah, that's some crazy. I don't know how we got on this tangent. I don't know.
Eye injuries.
Oh yeah.
So we were talking about. Oh right. So I knew what we were getting at. So you're talking about potentially jumping around weight classes, Tiffany. I wanted to get. So I mean, what did you take from the fight with Panda? I mean, is there something that you saw that you want to work on? Are there moments? Did you feel something that was working that you want to focus on? Was there stuff that wasn't working that you can sort of isolate to make the gains that you need to moving forward? Like.
Yeah, I think more like just putting everything together, like blending, the strikes and the takedowns. Yeah, I felt like I could have done it like smoother, like earlier in the rounds. I felt like I wasn't going much for, or like just keeping the threat of the takedown there, because
Yeah.
she knows that, she thinks that I want to try to take her down.
I kept saying that on the podcast.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just go, even if you
Yeah.
fake it, right? You feint
Yeah,
it,
I
or you
feel like
go and you
could have-
miss. Sometimes you can just shoot and bail completely.
Yeah,
You
just
don't
like
even have
make
to-
them like worry about it, so
Yeah,
they
every time you
wouldn't dare
shot,
to
I was like,
engage.
here we go.
Yeah. So I felt like I could have like done that more, so like getting more comfortable, like feinting takedowns, feinting shots. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the key for you is, Major and I talked about it on the podcast that I did with him, is that you're like an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Because even when you fought Ayaka and then this time when you fought Panda, like you were always mixing the fight up. Like all those other people that you fought are hyper specialists. Michelle Nicolini.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
Ayaka got you in that scarf hold that she gets everybody in.
Yeah.
Right, you're dealing with Panda, who's probably the best pure boxer, but she's got good counter wrestling and stuff like that as well. So I mean, you're fighting these specialists, but you're fighting them in MMA fight.
Yeah.
And you have other ways
to make it an MMA fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kai Xiong, again, I want to ask you about the training. I mean, what kind of stuff were you guys doing? What kind of drilling were you doing, and what kind of like?
It was a very footwork intensive camp because I think bottom line it comes down to distance management. So how aware you are, like, because distance management applies to everything, right? Like your striking and your takedowns. So it was just kind of trying to find that nice range to work in, like, because she's nice and long and lanky. So we're trying to, how do I put it? Yeah, just trying to utilize that as much as we could. Yeah.
And then the range is particularly different because the range that both of you want to operate are slightly different, right? Like she wants to be in the boxing range, which is like a
Be
closer
close,
range,
yeah.
striking range. Whereas every time she's trying to step into the punching range, you're throwing a kick, which is a longer range
Yeah,
strike.
yeah.
And then if she tries to come in too hard, too aggressively to get through your kicks, then the double leg opens up, right? And she's bringing her weight so hard forward. Plus, she's very heavy on the front leg. So yeah, that's totally the move. Because was it part of your game plan to kick her every time she was stepping in? I mean,
Yeah,
'cause-
to make her respect, the space.
because you were throwing the low
Yeah.
kicks and the body kicks, and then you mixed up the high kicks both with the front and the round kick. So you were kicking from every angle.
Yeah.
Because she like you were saying, like she's very boxing style, so she's very leg heavy. So Major felt like the calf kick was there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that
It
we actually
sucks so
worked on.
bad.
Yeah.
Did you catch her with a few good calf kicks?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah, she was
worst.
throwing a few calf kicks too. So
Yeah,
like
she threw a
trading calf
couple
kicks. Yeah.
on you as well.
So
I did
after
too.
the fight, we both have our legs like all iced
That's
up.
why your calves were sore? Oh,
yeah,
right.
it's the calf kicks.
Hopefully
yeah.
hers were too. Did you speak to her after the fight?
Yeah, just really nice actually.
What'd she say?
Yeah.
Did she say anything about
Yeah, she
it?
told me like it was a really good fight. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It was a close fight, man. I mean, you're right there in the mix.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you've had. I mean, you're going to be doing this for a few more years. I mean, what's the? You had a big fight, right? You just fought for a world title. I guess at a certain point, you have to kind of be like, okay, how are we moving forward, right?
Yeah. I guess this fight made me realize that I really I belong in the cage. Like.
Was it a confidence boost for you?
Yeah, it was for sure a
Rightfully so.
confident boost.
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
after the first fight, right?
Yeah, and like if I don't get a rematch, I'll be going back to 3 rounders. I'm very confident of pushing like an insane pace. After going through 5 rounds.
How was the 5-round fight experience for you?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it favors you, I think, in some context, right? The most dominant rounds of the fight were.
Yeah, the last round, right?
Last 2
the
rounds, I
last,
thought, for you.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, what's the question?
What was the 5-round experience like? I'm like that too, dude.
As I lost my train of thought.
It's not like you've been punched in the head recently. That's why you fucking did that Goggins thing. You got brain damage, dude. You need to take some time off. You need to take some fucking time off, Tiffany. So, what was the 5-round experience like? That was your first fight, 5 rounds, right?
Yeah, first fight going
So,
like.
I mean,
full
what did you feel like
distance.
going into that 4th and 5th, like?
Yeah, so I was surprised that my cardio held up like pretty well.
You never know, right? Until you're actually in there.
Yeah,
so.
because I mean it's very different in training. Like maybe it's like you can go on for 5 rounds, but in a fight where you are like committing to like most of your punches, your shots, it's like the energy expenditure is kind of different. Yeah, so I was.
Plus the stress as well. That changes
Yeah, the stress,
energy
your nerves,
expenditure, right?
everything. Yeah.
You're in
so
the indoor stadium and stuff.
Yeah, I felt I had like a second win towards the later rounds.
Yeah.
So I guess 5 rounders would work in my advantage in that sense,
I think so. Because I mean, if you have sick cardio, 5 rounds or better. I mean, if that fight had been 3 rounds, it wouldn't have been as competitive as it was. Right? Because you started turning it on late.
Yeah.
But the footwork, especially like halfway through the 4th round, you just start walking her down. You're just like marching her down, cutting her off. Every time she step in, you're trying to go for takedowns. Your cage wrestling was really good. I know Major does that shit all the time. Though. He does a lot of cage wrestling. So what was the training camp like? I mean, you guys felt good coming out? You felt prepared? Because, we were talking on the podcast for the couple weeks leading up to the fight that we just didn't know what the training camps were going to be like, right? How rusty people were going to look. We're not even supposed to grapple yet, but they make exceptions for some of the people competing. But then, you only had, how much notice did you actually get before the fight?
I think I had like 2 months notice around there.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
We were peddling some unverified conspiracy theories that maybe your opponent got more time to train than you did. I can't confirm or deny that, but we're peddling the conspiracy
maybe.
anyway.
Who knows, right?
Because she's evolved, so she probably would have had some time to know before you.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like, I mean, you haven't grappled in 6 months, other than like, of course, leading up to the fight, and all, you had the time for the training camp. But for months, nobody was doing anything. So, and then all of a sudden, first fight back in Singapore, phase 2, 250 people, 2 months notice. Here you go, world title fight. You're just like, fuck, let me get my mask and go roll in someone's house because I can't do it at the gym or whatever.
Yeah. So at first, when they told me about this fight, I wasn't too sure that if it was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right?
Yeah, I was like, let's see, because I knew that there's gonna be like another fight before mine. I was like, I'll take this fight seriously if that fight really plays out, Yeah, because I don't want to train hard and then they postpone the fight and then it just fucks up the training camp.
Did you feel like? And we're back from my idiot mistake of knocking the mic over, which I do every single podcast. So I'm gonna make sure that I leave me knocking it over so it blasts your fucking eardrums when you guys are listening to this, not expecting it. And that's a gift for you all. No, I will cut it out. Sorry, everybody. We're back with Tiffany. And we were just talking about we're in phase 2 still of the restrictions in Singapore.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I said this on the podcast, that, if you get a title shot, you get a title shot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to take that shit. There's no way. But knowing that you were training a lot during circuit breaker and shit, I should say anyway. But it's different when it's not the skill specific stuff. And, to fight what is the first event back in Singapore since the circuit breaker, in a venue with 250 people with only like a couple months to train, really, is what was your thought process like when they offered it to you?
Yeah,
knowing that your training camp was going to be whatever, and not even knowing if it's going to happen.
Yeah, at first I wasn't sure if the fight was really gonna happen. I thought they were just trying to offer me a fight and maybe come out. I felt like they needed approval from the government. I felt like they were trying to come up with a plan, to say like who are the fighters who are fighting and get approval from the government for the event. I felt like at first it wasn't really anything finalized. Yeah, so I accepted the fight still, like, it's a title shot, it only comes, once in a while. Yeah, so, and I knew that there was going to be another fight in Singapore before my fight, the one where Amir and Rahul fought.
Right. Oh, that was the first one, I guess,
that was the
right?
first one, actually.
There was no crowd for that one, and then you
it was a closed door
250.
event. Yeah, so when that fight happened, I'm like, oh yeah, I think this is really gonna happen. Yeah, so I've still been training, even though I wasn't sure if the fight was gonna happen. Yeah, but when that fight happened, I was like, all right, shit's getting real. It's like full on fight camp mode. Yeah.
Do you guys get like medical suspensions or anything like that? Like when could you fight again? Did they tell you? I mean, you have the stitch and stuff here.
Yeah. Usually they will send us like an email to tell us if we are being suspended or not. So usually it's like 1 or 2 weeks after. So far I haven't received any email from them, so I guess I'm good. So usually it happens if you get knocked out or like you get some like you bust your knees or something. Yeah, it's like some serious injury. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that sports are back in Singapore. That's for sure. I'm happy that there's something on.
Yeah, in fact, I heard there's going to be national boxing amateur fights in December.
Who's doing that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just heard some of the guys preparing for that fight.
Arvin's probably got his hand somewhere in that, I would imagine.
Maybe it might be the national team though. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know. Alvin still wants to do that Lion City thing.
Oh yeah, the MMA.
Yeah,
amateur
the
MMA.
thing. I know he still wants to do that. There's no jiu-jitsu competitions around. That fucking sucks. I miss those.
That's the tricky part, right, about jiu-jitsu. It's like all the body contact, like right in your face, and
I know we still can't roll, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
We're doing our jiu-jitsu classes. We didn't have jiu-jitsu classes for like 6 months. We just took it. Once we came out of circuit breaker, I was like, I'm not just going to solo drill. Fuck that. Like, I'd rather not do it, right? Jiu-jitsu sucks if you can't roll.
It's like, what's the point, right?
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool or whatever, but at a certain point, you're just not going to improve anyway. So I was like, we'll just get rid of it. And then we brought it back like 2 weeks ago. And we're doing like light takedowns where you just like trip people, and then you don't follow them to the ground.
Yeah,
and you do like loose, where you just touch quickly and then you break and then you come up again and stuff like that. But no extended contact, no like chest to chest.
Transient contact. That's a
Yeah,
keyword.
but it just sucks, dude. Like there's no daily cases. Can we get this shit moving forward?
Yeah.
Please.
I just want to be able to pull guard again and be lazy when I'm doing jiu-jitsu instead of this. Get your feet. No.
But the good thing is that means we've been able to wrestle more, which is nice. Because I won't let people get like side control or back take them like if they're clamped together chest to chest or chest to back. We just can't do that.
Yeah.
But like quick stand-ups, quick takedowns, just in quick succession, clean break with one partner. That's what we're able to do right now, which is at least something. But I can't wait till.
It's like the full thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, what have you been doing, Kai Xiong? How have you been? You just been training, doing training camps?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you don't have any competitions coming up, right? I saw you last when you competed against Ben, I think.
Yeah, that was like way back in, I think, March. Yeah.
That was a different lifetime ago, dude.
Yeah, man.
March. Those were the golden days. Those were the golden days. Yeah. So what's your plan? What are you planning on doing once we get rolling again?
I don't know. I'm throughout this time, I've just been kind of keeping in shape. Still working like striking mainly, because like you said, like jiu-jitsu, you can't really make as much contact. But I guess kind of studying on my own as well. In terms of like seeing what I can find online for like skills, techniques. Just trying to trial and error, I guess, experiment a little bit, since there's no competitions on the horizon also.
It's a good time to train though.
Yeah,
right? Got nothing else to do. Can't go anywhere. Can't go on holidays. Everything closes at 10:30. Like, what are you supposed to do? I finish work every day at 10 o'clock. We can never go out. We can never do anything.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Can't even have a beer. I'm doing this like sober October thing with fuckhead Ron.
Oh,
Ron,
nice.
Right?
Yeah, I was like, why is there no beer today?
Otherwise, I would totally drink with you, Tiffany. You guys, if you want, you can. I've got wine in there. I would totally give you some. You're more than welcome to have some. I fucking hate it. It's so stupid. Because Ron's been sober for a year. So to celebrate.
Oh, wow, a year?
Yeah.
Dang, it's
and
long.
Ron was a boozer back in the day. He was a boozer. So he decided to sober up, and he's been sober for 11 months or whatever. So then him and Steven talked me into, on the podcast, they fucking ambushed me. I was just sitting here doing the podcast with Jake. I had no idea that he was going to come in. Ron storms in, yells, "Skeet, skeet, motherfucker," and then comes over here and somehow convinces me to be sober for a month.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. And then I realized that my birthday's this month. We'd already booked like several holidays. People want to do shit, and life is boring, dude. If you can't
Yeah,
ever have a
right.
drink.
I mean, there's really nothing much to do.
I just work. That's all I do. I'm like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
great. I just work all the time. It's
Yeah.
super fun. I'm here recording a podcast with you guys, and we're not even drinking. It's a sin, man.
How long more do you have to go for like that, man?
I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Next weekend or
Halfway
something
mark.
like that.
That's when it gets tough.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So the plan is to when we finish it, I'll do a podcast with Ron and Steven, and then me and Steven are gonna get wasted in front of Ron just to let him know what he's missing. He punished me for a month. I'm gonna get wrecked in front of you, and you're gonna have to take care of me on my own podcast. So I'm sorry, I'm not drinking with you, Tiffany. But there is wine. You guys,
Nah, it's
if
okay,
you guys
I'm
want, you
good.
guys can take. Me and Tiffany had a good time drinking on the last one with Charmaine.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
So, Jake, you got some current events, right? Did you guys check out the fights this morning? Did you see any of the clips for the
Oh
UFC
no, I
or
haven't
anything?
really checked it out. Yeah.
I didn't either. We went
Yeah.
straight from work. We're supposed to do these things on the podcast, you know. We're supposed to cover the fights and shit. But were you aware of it? It was Glover Teixeira. He was fighting
Thiago Santos.
Thiago Santos, who just come back from that injury after fighting John Jones.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's some current events today from those fights. You want to bring up the
I'll
the
just.
card, and then we can finish. Did you see the co-main event or the main event? I can't remember who it was, Jake, but the guy got his cauliflower ear burst.
Oh, right,
and his
yeah.
fucking ear was like
Yeah, it was
falling
so
off.
bad.
I mean, it was huge. You can see in it. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
hanging off on the side.
Oh,
It's
it's
like-
nasty.
Yeah.
Oh,
You want the
yeah.
actual visual?
Oh
If
shit!
you're watching, be ready to vomit. Look, can you zoom in or get like a?
Did you have to stop that, right?
Oh, dude, it looks like
It's like hanging off.
His-
Oh
fucking-
shit!
the top of his
Oh,
ear looks
fuck.
like the scene from the chest bursting scene from Alien, where like the thing pops out of his chest.
Yo, that's damn nasty.
Who was that? Whose ear was that got wrecked? You know the guy's name?
No, ear man.
That is rough, man. But
Damn.
yeah, that was and then the co-main event was
Um,
I can't remember.
Arlovsky.
I watched the finishes
Oh,
only.
Arlovsky.
apparently it was.
Oh yeah, Arlovsky.
Apparently it was super boring.
This was the
Don't
old
watch
man
it.
card of the year. Arlovsky's how old? 42? 43? Andre Arlovsky?
Yes.
And then Glover's what? 42?
Like 40 or 41. Yeah.
What are they doing? Remember when Glover Teixeira fought John Jones like 10 years ago for the title or something? Back when he was 34 and he was still old. Now he's 41 and still fighting and crushing people. What's his record, Jake? Can you bring up Glover Teixeira's record?
32-7.
I mean, his actual recent.
Oh,
I think he's on like a
five streak win streak now.
At 41 years old in the light heavyweight division, a 5-fight win streak.
And he finished Thiago Santos today.
And he finished Anthony Smith
Oh yeah. Right.
before that, in the fight before that. Both ground and pound in both fights. His ground and pound is nasty.
No, today he got a sub.
Oh,
Oh,
was
right.
ground and pound.
But he was like
Yeah,
kind of
but he
ground.
absolutely
Like
rode him
Yeah.
throughout the whole fight.
He was smashing him into the choke where he finished him. A lot of rear naked chokes in the last events. And then, Andre Arlovsky, how old is he? He's got to be 42, 43. Glass chin, somehow still fighting. Could you imagine Tiffany fighting?
No, I don't do that.
40s? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that was the UFC today. There was also one yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can you pull up that card? I saw that Timothy Nastyukin won. Somehow he's ranked 4th in the lightweight division. How do you knock out Eddie Alvarez in 2 rounds and then end up number 4 in one's rankings when he should have?
Yeah, right. The ranking is like kind of weird. I don't know.
I mean, he would have been like number 3 or 4 globally when that fight happened because he just lost to Conor right before that, right? Or maybe one fight
Yeah, I
after
think
that.
so, yeah.
Maybe he lost to Poirier after the Conor fight, and then so maybe he lost 2 fights and then went to 1. But he still would have been ranked in the top 5 because he was the UFC champion before that.
Yeah, they only gave Timothy the title shot after this one, if I'm not wrong.
They should. I mean, they definitely should. He's the guy. That'd be a tough fight for. Who would you favor between Christian and Timothy?
Damn.
Christian's a fucking berserker, man. He's he like in the first 2 rounds. But you see, he almost got he got dropped in
Oh,
like
yeah,
the first.
right, he
Yeah, he just
Dude,
ran
he
in.
runs
Yeah, I
forward,
saw the
Donkey Kong in
highlights.
those fucking punches.
Yeah,
Dropped to
yeah.
a knee, but then got a hold of him and just still wrecked him. Yeah, but that was a scary first round there. But who would you favor in that fight? Got him. Nastyukin probably, right?
Yeah, I think Christian has more tools, but Nastyukin just too tough, too hits too hard.
Christian just goons people when he gets a hold of him, man. You know what I mean? He just gets body locks on people and just fucking
Right.
goons them, just
Yeah.
throws them around.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a problem for Nastyukin, but I feel like he's definitely got the striking advantage. That's a pretty good fight, especially because Nastukin got the rub when he fought Eddie, so people know who he is. He's he's pretty highly ranked there. So you got that card, Jake? The one card? Can you pull it up in the results?
Yeah, I've got the results.
Jake's doing 12,000 things at once. I'm just gonna keep pounding on you, dude. You're a workhorse. You can handle it.
I'm slowly getting better at multitasking on this.
So he's got to Google with one hand. He's got to change the camera feeds with another hand. Jake's a man of many talents. Talking as well. All right, so we got the results here. We have the results of the full card. Welterweight title fight, right? Absol won that.
James Namakashi.
Yeah, TKO 327 in the first round. Welterweight's one of those ones that they kind of lost a lot of their star power, right? Like people don't know now that Askren left.
Oh yeah.
And then what's his name? The bald dude who won the title after that.
Sebastian.
Sebastian, and then now this guy. So they sort of lack that big star power name that they had when Ben Askren was the champ. So no one really knows who the welterweight champion is anymore.
Did people watch the fight, the main event from the Asboff?
Last night's?
Yeah.
No. I was working. I didn't get a chance.
Yeah. I only watched one of these strawweights.
Yeah.
I saw the highlights though. There are quite a few pretty decent knockouts.
Good finishes, right? Yeah, you can if you can find it on Instagram, Jake. We can pull those up. We've just been a mad dash, right? Because they had the fights last night. Or those were Friday night, right?
Friday.
Yeah.
And then the other fights were this morning, but they're always when I'm working, so I can only catch them right after the fact. Yeah, we got the card there. There was another pretty good fight on.
I think it's a different page. It's not an official one. It's like a fan account.
Yeah, but they what were the other fights on the main card there? You guys remember?
For the one?
Yeah, for the one.
I think this Evolve guy for Echo, this wrestler.
Was that
Echo Roney.
Was that the co-main?
Oh no, it's like
The co-main was the Nastukin fight.
Oh right, yeah. Oh right, yeah.
Bring it
So
up.
Nastukin won that. So he'll fight Christian. That's a pretty sick fight. Some of these one cards, I don't know half the people on them because a lot of them are young. They're debuting. They're from the middle of nowhere. Is this the? Yeah.
So
This
is a really good knockout.
Yeah, I saw that one. Can you pull that one? Watch that one, Jake. I don't know if you can leave it on, but you might be able to flash it.
I can flash it. I don't know if it's just a knockout or if it's
Yeah, let's walk him on. That's the guy that fought Demetrius Johnson. Fought him pretty good. Fought him pretty well.
Yeah.
All things considered, he's pretty young too. I think he's only 25 or something like that. Well.
So I'm trying to get it. The internet's not playing.
That's okay. Oh yeah, you probably didn't connect to my internet.
Let's just
See if it'll work here. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, this is the beginning of the fight.
Yeah, I think it's the full fight, so we can't show it.
Oh, okay.
All
right. Well, we don't have to.
no highlights.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that too much. Okay, cool. Well, that's basically the fights then. So, Tiffany, what was it? I gotta ask you, man. What was it like to? We'll bring this back. What was it like to sort of feel that, right? Because not many people can say that they got to fight someone that's like a world champion to 5 rounds. Like, what was the? Because you never know, right? This is the thing. Like, that was your first title fight. It's your first 5 round. No, second. But it went 5 rounds, right? So, I mean, what did you feel in there? Like, how were the punches? Like, were you wearing them pretty well? I know you were working a lot of footwork and defensive movement. But what was it really like for you to be in there? It must have been a little surreal, right?
Yeah, kind of. But I really enjoyed every single moment in that cage that night. Like the walkout felt different, and because I guess it's like since that loss, I've been working my way back, to get that title shot. So it's like kind of surreal that everything is happening like on that night, and I was really happy doing that walkout. It just felt different. I didn't really feel the nerves as much. Even when I was waiting for the walkout, I was just just running around the cage. And it just felt very different from the other fights. Yeah.
Isn't it kind of weird to look back at like from where you are now to where you were? Because I remember everybody listening to this should go listen to me and Tiffany's first podcast because you told me some hilarious stories about like your pro debut when you fought your first fight. You were like, what happened? She was like, I forgot how to punch.
Yeah.
Tell me in your first fight, you were like, you were so nervous that you got.
Yeah, I was like so stiff. I was like, I remember Major cornering me. He was like, throw an elbow. So I was like throwing an elbow from a mile away, like, all right, elbow. Like he was like so far away from me. That was funny.
And you were like, told me you literally forgot how to punch. Like it was so overwhelming. And then you basically just took your pro fight on a whim because Arvin was just like, hey, you want to fight? Like a couple weeks into training.
Yeah.
And then here you are fighting for a world title in Singapore.
Yeah, it's crazy, right, about the journey. Yeah, I keep telling people this, when I first started martial arts, I just want to lose weight. Yeah. And I'm still trying to lose weight now.
And this somehow led to you fighting for a world championship,
yeah.
doing a David Goggins
Yeah.
challenge in the same fucking week.
Yeah.
Like, that's some hardcore shit, dude. You're hardcore as fuck. I can't imagine that Goggins thing. What was really sore after that?
My glutes.
I would rather fight for
Yeah.
5 rounds than do that Goggins thing, for sure.
Yeah, same. I'd rather do another 5 rounders.
So given a choice, would you fight Panda again, or would you do the Goggins thing?
Yeah, I'll fight Panda again. Any day, like right now.
That's so hilarious,
Yeah.
man. Are you still sore? Like from it's been what, 2 days now, you said? So
Yeah, a bit better. Yeah, my glutes were really sore for some reason. Yeah.
running, right? Just
Yeah, from the running. Yeah, my glutes, my hips, and my knees a little bit. I think just all the impact, Yeah.
So where were you guys doing the training camp at? So Major opened up his new gym already?
No, he hasn't.
Right?
He's still in progress, the new
Okay.
gym. So he came up with the logo and everything. But
Is that
still,
Singapore Top Team? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Singapore Top Team.
Because Major he's been telling me that he's going to do it for a while, and he keeps, and then I keep asking him to try to talk to him, and then I saw you came up and it said Singapore Top Team. I was like,
Yeah,
Major,
yeah,
you son of a
yeah.
bitch! Did you pick Singapore Top Team?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what it's going to be.
Yeah,
He's
but I
setting it up
think
now.
he's still looking for a good location, I guess. The last I heard, because it's really busy now. His baby just came.
Yeah.
So it's busy that mode now. Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully in late November maybe the gym will be up. Yeah.
So you guys did most of the other stuff at Highlight
Yeah,
Road or something?
so Highlight Road the lease ended. So
I saw you doing some stuff at Summit as well.
Yeah, so I was kind of just hopping around different gyms to use the space. Yeah, so I train at Summit. I train at this gym, Fight Alliance. So it's a Krav Maga gym on Hong Kong Street. Yeah, and I went to Floor Artist.
But they have were you doing Krav Maga? Are you doing
No.
kicks
I
to
just
the-
using. I was just
kicks to
using
the
that
vagina
space.
and kicks
yeah.
to the balls?
Yeah, because the thing with Fight Alliance, they have padded walls, so it's perfect.
Yeah, that's what sucks about this gym. That's the only thing that sucks about this gym.
Yeah,
but there's
and-
no way because they decided to put
Yeah, it's
windows
because it's not
everywhere.
real walls, right? All this. Is it
What,
real?
these?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I would love to be able to wrestle on the walls and stuff. but there's just no
Yeah,
way
it changes the
with
game, man. The wall wrestling for MMA.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so then you're at Summit too, right? Kai Xiong,
Oh,
you
yeah,
doing
yeah.
some? You're
Coach
doing
there.
some coaching there, right? Nice.
Yeah.
That place is nice. We went there and looked at it. That gym is fucking nice.
Yeah, it's big. They have all the equipment.
They got the
and-
wall mats.
yeah.
The mats are pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
that's a good place. If you guys are out in Geelong, check that place out because the
Yeah.
facilities are pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, so I was just pretty much, gym hopping, try to get some space to train. Yeah.
You just got to make it work.
Yeah.
And then you had to. So I mean, because we're still limited to. For the listeners that don't know, we're limited to 5. Like if you go out to an event, it's 5 people you're allowed to have. Or if you're training, depending on the size of your space, you
Yeah.
can have maybe 10 people or something like that. So you're literally just grabbing training partners,
Yeah.
moving all the way around Singapore.
Yeah.
Phase 2 of the fucking
Yeah.
pandemic. Tiffany fighting for a title in Singapore. Just fucking
Yeah.
winging it, dude. Gotta go. Gotta
Yeah.
train. Find a
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, but I was really thankful for all my teammates. They were all down to train, down to help. They're like, yeah, let's do this. They just show up for the training. We had to train 9 p.m. at night.
Yeah, 9. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to we start our training at 9 p.m. and our training ends 11 p.m.
What time did you fight? Was it around that time?
A bit earlier, right?
Yeah,
a bit earlier.
9-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, early 9.
Around there. Yeah.
So that's nice. At least you get to train.
Yeah,
around the
it's
same
good to
time.
adapt to that timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a pain in the ass for the rest, It's their bedtime,
Yeah.
helping Tiffany for some fight camp, I can't sleep, reaching home at 12 midnight.
Exactly. And then you're lit when you're home still, right? You can't just turn it off.
Yeah,
You're still
yeah,
going.
yeah.
You're still going.
yeah, but they all showed up, man. Yeah, they helped me for the whole camp.
Dude, everybody
yeah.
was cheering for you. Even as soon as it was happening on the podcast because we were watching it live, so then all my group chats were blowing up.
Dang,
They
sick.
started calling it. I may have started it, but they started calling it the Singapore screw job. I don't know who said it first. Possibly me. Probably. But so then everybody started putting that on the group chat. Singapore screw job. It's such a weird thing, right? I mean, because we're in it, right? I mean, we're in this phase of the pandemic. You can't go to events, but if you take a step back and then you think about everything that's happened in the last month, it's pretty fucking wild, dude.
Yeah,
We'll tell the
it's
story back
crazy.
later on when you're old, and
Yeah.
you'll be like, so we couldn't train anywhere. We had to go to
I
5
guess
different gyms, get people
just make it
together,
happen, just-
fighting for a
yeah.
world title without being
Yeah.
able to grapple and 250 people in the audience
Yeah.
and all this crazy
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, sometimes we even had to train in car parks, just
yeah.
just striking in car parks, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder because on the card it was only Singapore and
There were quite a lot of foreign fighters.
So
Actually.
do they have to quarantine when they come in?
Yeah, they have to quarantine a bit longer. I think
okay.
like for a week longer. I think. Yeah. So they have to do like the swab test once they arrive. So I think you have to do like 2 or 3 for locals. You have to do 2 swab tests.
They tested you and stuff as well.
Yeah. So at the start, the second day after you check in the hotel, you do your first swab test, and after the fight, you do your second swab test.
Oh, so they have to test you before and after.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was it like fighting in the arena with no people? I mean, I guess there were a few.
Yeah, there were.
Was it enough to kind of like get you?
They were so annoying.
Why?
Because it's like you can hear them loud and clear. Because there's only 250 audience in
Also,
an
when they're
empty
just talking
stadium.
to you,
Yeah, so I
you're
was
like this, and they're like, "Yeah, well, I don't know. Should I respond to him?"
Yeah. It's like,
and you're
yeah, I
like,
really
"Shut
wanted
the
to.
fuck up."
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but it's like live TV.
Did you hear
Yeah.
anything? Like, did you? Because it's weird, right? When you're fighting, people think that like you're so into it that you're not completely oblivious to the outside world, but you're not. You can hear. It's so weird, right? Because you're disconnected from it in a certain. Because you're listening to your corner and you're punching this person in the face, and then they're grunting, and then you hear people chatting. And it's It's kind of weird. Did you hear anything specifically that? Like, do you remember hearing something?
Yeah,
weird?
there was just like some guy just shouting random like advice that didn't make any sense at all.
Punch her in the face.
Yeah.
Punch her in the face.
I'm like,
You go, okay, I'm just fucking.
Yeah. So I was like kind of annoyed, but I was like, okay, let's just ignore them. And because I was trying to pick up my corner man's voices too, so I kind of have to like focus and like pick out their voice. Yeah.
Did you? So there were 250 people. So it was would you have rather fought with none or?
Yeah, I'd rather have fought with none.
You'd rather fought with none.
Yeah, I'd rather it be a closed door event
Or
or
full?
like be a full stadium.
Yeah.
Either or. Yeah. Because when it's a full stadium, you can't hear them because everyone's cheering. You can't hear what they're
cancel
saying.
each other out.
Yeah. So the 250 was kind of annoying for me. Yeah, I'd rather not have them. But I guess it's a pilot phase to like slowly let the events open up, having audience. Yeah, that's like the first.
Do you like fighting in front of the crowds? Like, do you feel the pump from that when you?
Yeah, it's just different like vibes, different.
Or do you
energy.
just like try to zone it out?
It's harder to, I guess, especially with the whole crowd, cheering for you or like getting you to like maybe you hit a takedown and they all get like
pop.
fired up and just the energy is different. Yeah, I guess with no audience, I can hear my corner man like loud and clear, and I feel more calm and composed because there's no, there's no background noise, there's no audience cheering for me. The energy is just different. You can just keep your focus on the fight.
I think that would be the move because sometimes the crowd can really change things.
Yeah. It's it affects your decision making.
Yeah, and it can be responsible for a lot like adrenaline dumps, lack of being efficient, right?
Yeah,
Same thing. Crowd starts pumping up, you fucking
you try to get pumped up too.
Then it doesn't work, and then you're dead. You're exhausted, and then you're getting punched in the head.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Jake, do you have is there any other current events or anything else we need to do before we wrap this thing up?
We've looked at the disgusting here, so that was the main one. We've seen the gross out, so no.
Yeah. That's what we do in this podcast. Keep it classy. Show people's ears falling off.
There was a gnarly broken nose in the one. Did you see that in the main event?
No. This
shit.
was the
last night,
Abasov
Friday
fight,
night.
Right? Why is Owen Wilson?
Oh shit!
Why is Owen Wilson next to him?
So they were kind of
Pull it back up. Leave it there for a second. Wow.
comparing noses. Owen Wilson's or the broken one.
Oh man. Yeah. Did you see Dominic Reyes' broken nose after Jan hit him with that hook?
No.
I mean, his was the same
I'm about to look.
His was like fall because that fight was weird, right? You guys watched the Jan Dominic Reyes fight because Jan kept hitting him. He hit him with like 2 body kicks, and then his whole thing immediately black and blue. And then he hit him, so like he kicked him like twice, fucked his ribs up, like broke one of his ribs, and hit him with 1 punch, broke his nose. Like that's 5 minutes of bad. Because a fight, you can have a 15-minute fight and get out with just scratches, but to have 5 minutes and get fucking wrecked, like 3 different bones broken, it's just like, sometimes it can just go bad. That looks like it right there. It's like a Dominic Reyes' nose. This is why you don't want to fight
shit.
kids. Oh,
dang.
That Polish power.
So, that's one of the current events. We didn't talk about Blachowicz and Stylebender.
But is it going to be Stylebender or is it going to be Teixeira now? Is the question, because Teixeira's on a five win streak, and obviously Stylebender's crushing all that come before him. So it'd be interesting to see which way they go with it. Because Can Teixeira wait potentially another year for a fight, given he's 41?
No, because he'll be dead and geriatric if he waits another year. Right? He's already a fucking grandpa. I think he needs to go now. Well, I think it just depends on when Izzy wants to fight, right? I mean, if he wants to wait to try to line it up more with John Jones, then maybe they could wait for a while. They could do Glover quickly, and then they could still do Izzy in like the spring or something like that.
Yeah.
But unless Glover wins, and then can you imagine watching Izzy fight Glover Teixeira? That's that's borderline assaulting a grandpa. At that point, Jesus Christ. Like a 42-year-old Glover fighting like prime Stylebender.
Dang.
That's not. I mean, if Glover can get on top of him,
If Glover gets into like.
old man strength punches to the head, dude. Glover's got that old man strength, that uncle strength.
Glover was absolutely dominant on the floor. I don't know if anyone saw it or not. But
He dominates everybody on the ground pretty much.
He just the entire round 2, he just rode Santos, rode him. So that when round 3 came, Santos was worn out, and like we said about the finish, it looked like Santos was winning and about to knock him out, and then suddenly Glover's on his back, slaps on the choke. Yeah.
Uncle Glover for the win. And Thiago's like, what is he, 31 or 32? God, could you imagine? If I lost to a 41-year-old, I'd be pretty upset. I'd be pretty upset. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Stylebender fight's way more fun. Tiffany, I'm checking out your shirt. Look at this shit. Pull that up on the camera. Look at that.
No chill.
No chill, man. Brought one for Charmaine as well. Thank you. Rocking the shirt. Anyway, yeah, that's it for pretty much the news, right?
Yep.
Okay, guys, anything you want to add? Shout out your social medias or tell anybody who's listening to come find you. I actually have like more than one listener now that my Khabib video got so it's good. I can actually maybe supply people with a few views. So you're just helping me out. So you guys want to shout out anything before we bounce?
Yeah, I guess shout out to my sponsors, my teammates. So I've been with this meal prep company, Fresher Singapore. So it's been a great help for the whole camp. It's just you don't have to worry about what you're gonna eat. And
do they just send you the meals?
Yeah, it's like ready cooked meals, and they have a lot of like options, and it's tasty. It's like I would eat it even if I'm off season. Yeah, and my SNC coach, Hunt Performance, you can check him out on social media, and of course my team, Singapore Top Team, and.
Does that feel weird to say yet?
Sorry?
Does that feel weird to say yet?
A little bit. I'll get used to it. Yeah, pretty much that's all. Yeah, thanks for being there for the whole camp. Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Kai Xiong?
I just want to give a shout out to my SNC coach as well, Black Hat Movement. Yeah, and also I don't really have that many followers, so I'll shout myself out as well. So
just beginning, bro. Just beginning.
Yeah, just the beginning, right? So it's the real Kai Xiong.
So who's the fake one?
and then so they can come train with you at Summit, right?
Sorry?
They can come train with you
Oh
at
yes,
Summit.
if anybody's looking to do some striking, come over to Summit MMA.
Geelong, out in Geelong. If you're in Geelong, go train with Kai Xiong. All right, everybody. That rhymed. I didn't mean for that to rhyme now. All right, everybody. Jake, what episode are we on, dude?
I believe this is 38.
Okay, let's call it 38. So if you're listening to this, you can catch it on YouTube. You can catch it on all the podcast apps. And we managed to get through the whole podcast without even mentioning Donald Trump.
Oh,
it's so nice. It's so nice. I ruined the moment with it, but I didn't have to talk about anything. It's excellent. I feel like I don't even have to pay attention to it. So that's good. We can go back to boring news again. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for listening. This is the Stronghold Podcast. Peace.